The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonzo as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is September 30th, 2020. This is episode 249. And today, presidential debate. And I'm stuck in Lodi again. But my name is your best buddy, Basil.
And this is Gonz. Welcome to the podcast where we love Jesus, we love you, we're learning to love ourselves, and we're learning to love our enemies that are so mean.
Gonz.
What?
Please. For all that is holy, you gotta clean that up.
Hey, it's International Podcast Day, so, just letting you know.
All right, folks. So welcome back. We are fresh off the debate high, I guess. Did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
No.
So Breaking Bad is a little difficult for people to get into because the first 3 episodes, it's sort of designed to make you, the viewer, feel like you are on methamphetamines.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's how I felt watching the debate last night, Gonzo.
Really?
It just felt like I had been dosed and nothing was making sense. I feel like I had taken crazy pills, but there were some beautiful parts about it. You know, some novelty that we would have never expected from 2 presidential candidates interacting with each other. What was your experience like?
I had it in my earphones and I started laughing multiple times, and the wife saying, basically, I don't see how any of this is funny. And I told her, it's either you laugh or you're on the floor crying in agony.
You gotta laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah.
I was like scream laughing alone.
I know. Well, that's
this.
kind of why the wife gave me the side eyes, because I started laughing really loud and disrupting the peace in the home.
Oh yeah.
And so
definitely.
yeah, good times.
Well, we're not gonna go too deep into it. I mean, the debate kind of speaks for itself. If you haven't watched it, it is actually worth. Usually these presidential debates, you can just get the highlights and whatever. But it is, it's got entertainment value. And of course, we've got some great quotes that you're going to pull out here. But I grabbed a couple of clips that I thought, I'm not sure if everybody caught them. And these 2 guys, they're playing enemy on TV, and of course they're competing to become king of the world. But there's some naughty boys, and I think we should listen to these clips.
Okay, which one do you want to do first here?
I don't know. You can pick either of them. Is good with me.
Okay, let's see. This one I thought was
they're both being rascals here. This is some real rascally rabbit comments.
Yeah. This is Biden and Trump, basically Trump saying you'd be surprised.
Yeah, just
I want to make
Mr.
sure.
President, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that. He has,
You'd be surprised.
you picked the wrong guy, the wrong.
Come on.
You know what's funny about that is
naughty
Trump does this
He does
like a
his
lizard tongue thing before he says that. I don't know if you catch it, but
they know what they're doing. This is some locker room talk.
Oh, sure. I mean it's really weird. He does this like literally it's like a snake lizard tongue, like and then
I know,
you'd be surprised. Like what?
You picked
Be surprised.
the
Go ahead,
wrong
Jim.
guy.
Anyway.
Okay. All right. Go to the next one. We got one more.
You got one more. Okay. I think this is no, this is not the one. I'm trying to find the one that you wanted. Okay, this is Biden saying
Yeah, just play it.
Okay, all right, okay.
Number one.
Joe, you
Number
agreed
two.
with Bernie Sanders, who's far left, on the manifesto,
Well,
we call it. And that
manifesto-
gives you socialized medicine.
Look, hey,
Are you saying
I'm not
you
going
didn't
to listen
agree?
to him. The fact of the matter is, I beat Bernie Sanders.
Not by much.
I beat him a whole hell of a lot. I'm
Not
here.
by
I'm here
much.
standing facing you, old buddy.
Pocahontas would have left
Well,
2
I
days
tell
early.
you,
You would have lost every primary.
All he knows how to
on
do
Super
is hurt.
Tuesday. You got
Look,
very lucky.
here's the deal. I got very lucky. I'm going to get very lucky tonight as well. And tonight I'm going to
With
make
what?
sure because
With what?
here's the deal.
With
The
what?
With what?
The fact
With what?
is that everything
The
he
little
says.
laugh that Biden throws in there is like, hey, I'm gonna make a funny joke and everybody's gonna love it. Oh yeah, there's no audience, and the audience that we have has been sworn to silence. And Trump is like, oh yeah, you're gonna make this joke? You're gonna make a funny joke, Biden? Why don't you explain your funny joke to us, to the country, with your wife sitting in the audience?
I think he reinforced his creepy Uncle Joe, title by saying stuff like that. I'm gonna get lucky tonight. Like,
Yeah,
what?
it really is creepy.
What are
And
you talking
know,
about,
as
Biden?
much as he slams Trump for being unpresidential, I mean, come on, Biden. Creepy, you're just playing into the creepy Uncle Joe thing.
I know. I mean, Trump was he was rude by disrupting the conversation over and over. Not that Biden didn't, but this was one of my favorite moments, if you will, was Biden calling Trump a clown. Did you catch that one?
Oh, yeah, he did it several times.
I know, but this one was.
Wait a minute. You get the final word, Mr.
Well, it's hard to get any word in with this clown. Excuse me.
Hey, let me just say,
Wait a minute.
Excuse me, this
Excuse
person.
me. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Sorry,
call
I didn't
him
mean to
such
call
a
him a
mean
clown.
name.
Oh, it was just man, I feel sorry for our country, but also, people were talking about who won the debate, and my whole take was the right-left paradigm won tonight.
Yeah, nobody won.
Nobody really won the debate.
The whole country lost.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because usually, and as has been the case with past Trump debates, which is no matter what the reality of the debate was, you're not allowed to say Trump wins. You're never going to say Trump wins a debate. That's just, you're not going to see it in mainstream media.
Yeah.
So no matter what happens, it's always, whoever in the case of the debate is debating Trump, they always win. It's been the case ever since the beginning. And so I was expecting to wake up to those articles today of, Biden slays Trump in first debate. But they couldn't even bring themselves.
Couldn't do it.
They couldn't
They
even
knew
bring
they knew
themselves to get there.
They knew the whole country was watching last night, so they couldn't just spin it. They had to sort of ease into certain things.
Yeah.
But I will say that one of the things that I, just in terms of the content of what they were talking about, we're not going to dig too deep into it because, there's a whole lot of shows doing that. But one of them that I noticed right away was basically Biden saying that he doesn't support the Green New Deal. So here's the clip.
The Green New Deal and the idea of what your environmental changes will do.
The Green New Deal will pay for itself as we move forward. We're not going to build plants that, in fact, are great polluting plants.
So do you
We're going to
support
build
the Green New Deal?
Pardon me?
Are great
support-
polluting
No, I
plants.
don't support the Green New Deal.
you don't? Oh, well, that's a
You
big
let-
statement.
I support
That means you
the
just
plan.
lost the radical left.
I
Gun.
support
you
the
don't.
Biden plan.
So he tries
The
to
Green
play it
New
off.
Deal and the
Sorry.
idea.
Sorry, it's looping there. He tries to play it off as the Biden plan, but as everybody on Twitter pointed out, and I noticed this right away, right as they were talking about this, Biden, of course, supports the Green New Deal. And as, again, many people pointed out, right on his website, joebiden.com/climate-plan. Biden believes the Green New Deal is a crucial framework for meeting the climate challenges we face.
Yeah.
And the funniest part is NBC and some other news outlets to try to sort of mitigate the or at least soften the blow to the, the direct contradiction that Biden placed out there of saying,
Right.
I don't support the Green New Deal. I call it the Biden plan or whatever. NBC and other headlines were saying Biden, he doesn't really support the Green New Deal. It's just a framework. It's the framework
Yeah.
for the Biden deal. And it's okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, folks.
There was a couple things, there's a couple of these traps that they were trying to catch each other in. And Chris Wallace got in.
Uh-oh. Basil froze out when I tried to close a tab here. You still there? We lost Basil. This is unusual. I guess we're talking about the debate, so of course they're gonna probably try to shut us down, but let me see if my Skype will work. Give me one moment. We'll get Basil back on here. Let's see. Saw somebody tell me in the chat on YouTube, unsubscribed. Yep, you and like everybody else, buddy. Okay, give me one moment here. Trying to call back.
There he is. What took you so long?
I had to restart Skype.
Oh, bummer.
It's weird. Okay, so you were
okay.
As soon as you started talking, that
was the first disconnect we've had in a couple of weeks.
I know.
Well, I guess we've done okay. So we'll hope it doesn't work again.
Yeah.
Or it doesn't fail again. So there's a couple little traps that they are trying to catch each other in multiple times during the debates. Trump was trying to get Biden to say law and order. Was goading him, saying, you won't say it. And the truth is Biden wouldn't say it because law and order is a Trump talking point.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes into the sort of messaging, the mind control of all this. Biden really does not want to say it. Whether or not he stands for law and order is another thing. But the second he says law and order, the way the programming has been going, that would be Biden basically verbalizing support for the way that Trump handled riots and all sorts of things like that. So we goaded him and finally got Biden to say it, but you can tell he immediately regretted it and tried to kind of couch it in between things so it wouldn't be a clean soundbite. So Trump got him there. He also, the Green New Deal thing was a trap for the reasons you already explained. And then Chris Wallace comes in and they were trying to catch Trump in the you won't say anything bad about white supremacy. You won't, what is the word I'm looking for that they always say that he doesn't do? Condemn. You won't condemn white supremacy. You won't condemn militias specifically, which was an interesting ploy to get him specifically to directly to speak to militias, because of course not all militias, but there are some Second Amendment militias who are explicitly Trump supporters. And Trump said it, but he said it in an interesting way. Did you catch this? They are goading him, condemn militias, condemn white supremacists, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And then he says, yeah, I'll do it. I don't care. Fine. Hey, Proud Boys, stand down and stand by.
Right. Yeah,
so
I know, that's a really weird way. But also
he got to say that he told militias to stand down, but he also put them on standby.
Right. That's Gavin McInnes's, whole, some people call, and I tend to maybe agree with the idea that it's sort of a Zionist operation, but we won't go down that rabbit trail here. But yeah, I think the reason why Trump did that also is because there was propaganda that was spun by like Midas Touch, I think, on Twitter and other places. They make these little 1.5-minute videos that go super viral on Twitter. And one of them was showing how Gavin McInnes, just a bunch of clips of him saying like, we're going to fight back. We're going to hit him. We're going to shoot him. We're going to get violent, and he's just making it sound like, Trump supports violence on this, like white supremacy violence. Right. Which obviously I don't think the Proud Boys per se are standing there saying that we want violence. They're just saying, if they get violent, than stand your ground type of deal.
Sure,
but again, whatever it is, whatever it is,
I think
he mentioned
interesting.
Yeah, I think he mentioned the Proud Boys specifically because of some of that propaganda that's out there about that group in general.
Maybe.
So
yeah. Chris Wallace kind of specifically put the Proud Boys into the situation. Chris Wallace, in his question, as he's sort of prodding Trump, specifically mentions Proud Boys, and that's when Trump finally latches on and says, "Stand down, but stand by." So yeah, he was kind of caught in that, but he did it in a way that I think he wasn't too sad about.
No.
Let's see, what else was there? Oh, so you mentioned political theater. Do we want to run to that clip, or did you have something else with the debates?
I will say that one of the troubling things walking away was at the very end. They're talking about election fraud and will you accept the results and all this stuff, and both from Biden and from Trump, it just felt like they're setting everybody up for the most chaotic November, December, that we've probably had in a long time, with a no result election type of situation. And that made me feel really uneasy at the very end. I was like, wow, okay, like as if the vaccine conversation wasn't troubling enough, with Operation Warp Speed and Trump saying we got the military ready to jab people in the arm. Well, he didn't say that specifically.
That was disturbing.
Didn't
like that.
But just the way Biden said months, or maybe it was Chris Wallace that was setting it up. Like, oh, are you willing to wait weeks or months? It's like, months? How long is this going to be a non-result election? I mean, that's crazy. So I don't know. It felt like everybody was in on that.
We're all expecting that. Yeah. Now, we're going to bring this up, but of course, people in the chat getting antsy, mentioning, we're not mentioning that Biden wore an earpiece.
Oh, yes.
And here's the thing. Here's my thing. Look, on these these debates, man,
come on, man, look.
It is not a scandal if Biden wore an earpiece, just how it's not a scandal if he's on some sort of old man methamphetamine or B12 or whatever. I mean, this has been happening in politics forever. Ever since there have been earpieces, presidents have been wearing earpieces to debates. And yeah, I mean, maybe they're not being honest about it, but who cares? I mean, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Just because somebody wears an earpiece doesn't make it whatever. I mean, it doesn't make them any better or any worse. Yeah. And yeah, Biden probably was wearing an earpiece. I've seen some, people who are doing some zooming in and frame by frames. And, they caught this little wire coming out of his jacket. They caught his little wrist thing. I'm not sure how a wrist thing would help him here, but it's probably just his little rosary bracelet, as you pointed out, Gonz.
Yeah.
But whether or not it is an earpiece, I mean, to me personally, it doesn't matter. Politicians have been using earpieces forever.
Yeah.
You'd be very hard pressed to ever find a presidential debate in modern history that at least one, if not both, of the presidents or potential presidents had earpieces and were probably shot up with some sort of stimulant. It's just, these guys are like 80 years old. Of course, they're getting
they're all
B12 and Adderall.
Maybe that's why they're both so amped. They were just both so hopped up on something that they're just like aggro.
It sounds like all three of them are on meth. Nobody's like, I mean, Trump certainly did the most interrupting, but that's just kind of his strategy. It's always been his strategy. I can't believe people are making a big deal about it. His whole MO is to control the room. And he doesn't care how he looks. He doesn't care how he sounds. He doesn't care how frustrated people get. In his mind, his strategy, if he's controlling the room, then he's winning. Yeah. And that's what he did here. He doesn't care if he's interrupting. That's his how he's been doing business for decades.
Yeah, and I actually tweeted out about the Joe Wired thing because, people were zooming in and maybe the little wire or something in the jacket. Oh, it's an earpiece and it's an earpiece. First off, they have technology that's so much smaller than a wired earpiece. This isn't 1955 or something where, you have to have a wire going to your ear. I have a little thing on the screen here. It's a little screenshot of the world's smallest spy magnetic earpiece, and it's 2 millimeters. It's a tiny little thing.
Yeah, you
And
don't
so,
need wires.
Yeah,
for
you don't need wires, number one. Number two, they already have voice-to-skull technology. I'm not saying they were using it, but if they wanted to, they could just be like, Joe, start talking about his, tell him to shut up or whatever,
just do
whatever
resonance,
it is. Yeah,
resonance. Yeah,
voice-to-skull stuff.
Plus, I mean, there's talk, and he probably does. Again, these are old guys. They probably have intracranial cochlear implants for hearing aids,
Right.
which would be direct. What does they call it? Bone conduction.
Right.
Hearing aids, which you can just connect to with Bluetooth and talk to them, and that's an implant. You wouldn't even see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. He probably did. Maybe he wasn't. Whatever. The existence of an earpiece and drugs is a complete non-interesting point to me.
No. Yeah. Well, it's all propaganda.
State-sponsored propaganda machinery.
And then, did you want to play this? Let's
do this little theater clip. I found this on Twitter when I was poking around. And as we all know on this show, politics is a complete theater. It's all about optics and yada, yada, yada. But this was a fun little clip. Why don't you play it?
Yeah, this is Democratic Governor Wolf in Rep. Ullman of Pennsylvania calls masks political theater for the camera. Kind of hard to hear.
It's a hot mic.
So Wendy, I'm going to take my mask off when I speak.
I will as well. I'm waiting so that we can do a little political theater.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you couldn't hear it, this is a hot mic. They didn't know was hot. The guy off screen says, "Hey, just so you know, I'm going to take my mask off when I talk." And she says, "Yeah, no, that's okay. I'm going to take mine off when I talk too, but I'm just leaving it on now for a little political theater. Make sure the cameras get me with wearing my mask."
Yeah.
So, yeah. There you go. From the horse's mouth.
Give it away there, Democrat lady. Good job. You failed.
Yes,
You're out.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the Republicans have their foot in the door in political theater, obviously, as well.
Obviously. We did have one. We don't have to go through it, at least at this point. I did want to share. I don't know. What I wanted to do was give a news headline or a story from outside of the country and how other nations sort of reported on the debate. Because even though it was the U.S. presidential election debate, that was seen all around the world here. Mm-hmm. And this is New Zealand. This is newshub.co.nz, U.S. presidential debate, worst insults and best quotes between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And, we kind of went through some of it, but let's see. Hot mess, disgrace. Everyone knows he's a liar. President has no plan. This man doesn't know what he's talking about. Will you shut up, man? That was Joe. There's nothing.
Shut up, man.
Shut up, man. There's nothing smart about you, Joe. He's the worst president America's ever had. That was Biden's scathing thing there. It's hard to get any words in with this clown. So there you go. That's all that other nations saw. They weren't really
just the insults.
Yeah, they didn't really pick up on any of the issues. It was just two old men screaming at each other and propaganda for those other countries. Hey, move here, move to our country. Doesn't matter with the new world order.
It's a good time for the expatriate movement. People trying to get out of the country.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I think that rolls in pretty well into the Flippy update, Gons. What do you say?
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
All right, time for the Flippy update, folks. And those who are new to the show, Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use Flippy to have a conversation about how robotics and AI are making their way into our lives, what we can do about it, and when the inevitable robot takeover will happen. And today, I'm coming with an article from AmericanThinker.com, Gonzo. And the headline is, Satire, Biden robot invented just in time for debates. That's right. Again, satire. The Biden campaign is proud to announce that it's invented a lifelike Joe Biden robot with the help of a Chinese AI company. The 6-foot-tall Biden 2.0 model is equipped with an integrated memory circuit that will store data and, you guessed it, hold memory. A DNC spokesperson praised the new Biden brain, explaining that this time around the chip will not hold its memory temporarily in the same way your standard random access memory would. Instead, the Biden 2.0 will process and store all data in permanent read-only memory fashion. The Biden robot's data will be continually updated with direct input from the DNC intelligence, whether it be new hoaxes in addition to the Fine People hoax or preparatory debate questions from friendly reporters. Of course, the 2.0 model will have intense firewalling to shield against any Russian interference that could modify policy formation. The first public appearance of the Biden bot will be on a CNBC interview. If all goes well, that will be followed by September's first presidential debate. Ironically, on his last CNBC interview, the real Biden said, quote, "I'm going to beat Joe Biden." If the Biden 2.0 replacement, that line will definitely be fitting. Miniature Biden 2.0 toy robots will soon be available online, complete with remote control, sound effects, and shampoo sensing technology. Order one for your child today so you can watch his delight as he zooms Mini Biden 2.0 your way, shouting, quote, "Our best days still lie ahead," end quote. So there you go. I don't know what satire means, Gons, but this was a pretty shocking article to find.
Yeah, we'll just ignore that it was, as you call, satire. That's a satire for kids at home.
Am I gonna get flagged for fake news because of this?
Probably.
Oh no!
You're probably gonna get the grammar police too. It's pronounced satire.
The scarlet letter, the fake news scarlet letter. Oh well. Well, there you go. Advancements in Biden technology. So,
they forgot to include a detail of the robot.
Got hairy legs. Got hairy legs.
That's a prototype that I have here in my pocket.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you done with your
I'm
Flippy
done.
update?
I'm done with my satire Flippy update.
Yeah, pretty funny. Otherwise,
funny.
We couldn't really.
Thanks, Gons.
All right, let's get some updates going here.
We interrupt this broadcast to give you a brief update. By the end of this timely interruption, you will be thoroughly updated.
33 is the number of completion of the Great War.
33 is also the number being used by elites to signal to each other, we think, and we are taking it back. But in the meantime,
it's the Illuminati dog whistle.
Yes, yourvalley.net. Greek police accuse 33 people of helping migrant smuggling.
Oh.
Athens, Greece. And interesting, the Greek police are accusing 35 people, all foreign nationals, and all but 2 of them members of non-governmental organizations, of a variety of serious crimes for allegedly facilitating the clandestine arrival of migrants on the Greek island of Lesbos from Turkey. Police announced Monday they had opened a felony case file against 33 members of 4 NGOs. So there you go. 33 people.
What a convenient number.
I know.
Of people involved in that conspiracy.
A border crossing conspiracy. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the new international order. And this one's a little bit more close to home, Basil, at least for me. And the headline is from the OC Register.
Ooh.
Coronavirus, 33 new deaths.
Oh, no.
109 new cases.
How convenient that it's that number again.
I know. 109 new cases in Orange County on September 29th. I feel like the OC Register is trolling me. Just me. They're like, oh, you know what? We can troll Gons over there on the news talk. Orange County Healthcare Agency reported 33 new deaths of the coronavirus on Tuesday. Yep, there you go. I mean, there's not much else to say other than 33 new deaths. And one thing to mention here on that, there was a... I'm just going to do this now because it's a little out of order on the doc there, Basil, but there was a report from, I think this is like some kind of, what is this, UK court or something? RTE News, or maybe some European nation there. I'm not exactly sure. But the clip shows how they count deaths differently, or at least expose themselves as to how they report coronavirus deaths. And it's a 1.5-minute clip. We can stop it in the middle, but here's
go ahead and play
a little clip here.
To Dr. Cudahy. Dr. Cudahy, if somebody who is asymptomatic shows no symptoms whatsoever of COVID, and they have a heart attack and are brought to hospital and they're tested, and it is found that they have COVID and they die soon thereafter, but this is somebody who's demonstrated no symptoms whatsoever, are they recorded as a COVID death or not? If they have tested positive for COVID, but ultimately came to hospital because they've had a heart attack or a stroke or fallen off the roof of a building or something like that?
We adhere to the World Health Organization case definition in terms of the recording and reporting of deaths. So in the situation that you described, where someone has a positive COVID test, then it is a death in a confirmed COVID case. But such a case would be subject to a coroner's report as well. And as part of the ongoing validation of the data in our surveillance system, we would take additional details in relation to such. Okay,
but a coroner's report, sorry, I'm trying to be very brief. Obviously, a coroner's report takes a very long time to make its way through the system. So for now, they are recorded as a COVID death, but it may be that they are taken off that list at a later date. Is that what you're saying?
That's it, exactly.
To Dr. Cudahy.
Sorry there. But yeah, there you go. Basically saying, number one, that they're adhering to the World Health Organization standard, which is this, it's the one standard throughout all of the entire world on how to report deaths, especially COVID deaths. There's no checks and balances. We've covered it in past episodes. But straight up admitting that even if you have COVID and you fall off a building, you will be reported as a COVID death.
Right. Yeah.
And we've known this. It's just weird to see it admitted in like an official type of meeting.
And that's
here.
the point. Obviously, this is not new news, but to have it spoken by the authorities out loud that that's how they're doing it. Of course, this isn't going to make any difference to the people who are brainwashed, but but there you go.
Yep. So just, another piece of information you can share with your normie friends there. And this one is a little bit more visual. I saw this thing for the last few weeks actually be shared around, but I thought it'd be interesting to share with you specifically, Basil, because are you ready to become a cyborg?
Are you ready to become cyborg?
This was tweeted out by Bloomberg Quick Take. Look for the WFH or gaming chair, or that's a question. This zero gravity seat developed by Kluvens wraps around like a giant scorpion. Have you seen this thing?
I have seen this thing. It's pretty cool. Also pretty spooky. It reminds me of the device that is that the Borg Queen is hooked up to.
Yeah.
In Star Trek.
Yeah. So basically, for people not looking at the screen or just listening, it's a chair that has what looks exactly like a scorpion tail behind it, and it wraps around over you and holds 3 screens, like a monitor screen, and apparently it massages your back too. And you get the keyboard pad and everything right in front of you, and this is
and it reclines. You can lay down, and it holds your computer screens above your head, and it's on 8 legs or 6 legs or something. I mean, it looks like a scorpion. It's pretty. I mean, it's pretty. It's spooky and weird, but also pretty cool.
It's cool, but also maybe what John saw on the island of Patmos there, coming out of the abyss. It was just a bunch of people that were, in Revelation 9, just a bunch of people that are, plugged in with one of these scorpion chairs with long hair and scary teeth and all that. But anyway, just one of those things that's kind of weird, but also, if it wasn't so scorpion looking and Revelation 9 looking, I'd be interested in it, just because I've always been interested in the idea of being able to do computer work or just work laying down.
Yeah.
Laying down, yeah.
I think it's like, how much is it? Somebody's saying
don't know.
it's $3,000.
Maybe.
I don't know. That might
Not
be
sure.
worth $3,000. Now, if it could walk also, using the legs, and you can walk around your house so you don't have to get up to, get some food or something, that would be next level.
Yeah, I'm thinking, also turn the seat into a toilet. All the options that are coming in the future there. But kind of creepy, but also kind of looks like, helpful.
Okay.
Another quick update.
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
This is from CNBC. Disney to lay off 28,000 employees as coronavirus slams its theme park business. 28,000 people, Basil.
That is a lot
laid
of
off.
people.
That's a lot of princesses and pirates and all kinds of people that.
Who exactly are they? Are specifically theme park employees?
Yeah. So I'm thinking people that do all the stuff, the cleaning.
And this is globally. This is from L.A. to Florida to Tokyo to, I think there's a Dubai Disneyland now too.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, it's not good news for the people, but also this is part of the course here. And one of the things, the problems here is, wasn't Disney one of the companies that, I could be wrong here, but I think they might have been one of the companies that took some of the stimulus money.
I'm sure they did. I don't have any hard data on that though.
Yeah, it's just a bad look when you take stimulus money as a corporation, and then you have to, lay off 28,000 people worldwide.
Yeah, the company declined to break down the layoffs by individual park locations, and their theme parks in Florida, Paris, Shanghai, Japan, and Hong Kong have been able to reopen with limited capacity. Both California Adventure and Disneyland have remained shuttered. Ooh, shuttered. Very strong language there.
Yeah.
In Anaheim, California.
So there you go. It's more people looking for unemployment checks.
Bummer, dude. Sorry, Disney employees who listen to the show.
Or we can hire them to do some producing.
No, we can't. But they can they can volunteer.
Yeah, if they're they'll have a lot of time on their hands. We'll just adopt them into the Canary Cry family.
Yeah,
we can't pay you, but we can give you some credit on your CV.
You work at Disneyland. You have a very specific set of skills that you can put to use here at the Canary Cry family of products.
Yes. And then one more quick update here.
The four horsemen of the technopolis.
Anytime you see the four horsemen, it's something special.
This is MercuryNews.com. Elon Musk doubles down on COVID-19 skepticism and says he won't take future vaccine. Just earning all the points with the fringe people.
Yeah, Elon getting the anti-vax points here.
Yeah, Elon Musk is once again publicly downplaying the risk of COVID-19 in a wide-ranging interview with the journalist Kara Swisher. The Tesla and SpaceX CEO said he would not take the COVID-19 vaccine when one becomes available, and declined to say whether he feels a duty to pay employees who want to stay home to avoid contracting the virus. Quote, "I'm not at risk for COVID, nor are my kids," said Musk during Monday's episode of the New York Times podcast Sway. What he didn't say is, because I have the Neuralink chip in my brain and I can deconstruct my own virus in my bloodstream with my computer. Did Basil freeze? I think Basil froze again. What's going on today? Interesting. It says here, Musk has long cultivated a public persona of an eccentric entrepreneur who knows better than the experts and isn't afraid to offer controversial opinions. On the podcast, Musk argued that instead of sweeping stay-at-home orders to mitigate the spread of coronavirus, quote, anyone who is at risk should be quarantined until the storm passes. When Swisher confronted Musk with the possibility that people will still die in the process, he replied bluntly, "Everybody dies." Everybody dies. That's his response. So, okay, hold on. Let me try to get Basil back on the mix here. This is a bad day for our situation. We normally don't have or haven't had any problems with connections recently, but maybe the title, presidential deep bait. Maybe we baited the people that monitor our shows like ours. Okay, where are you at, Mr. Basilman? Here we go. Calling Basil.
Just one of those days.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I was just reading the quote about when Musk was confronted about the possibility that people will still die in the process of the COVID-19 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk replied, "Everybody dies."
I know it's an uncomfortable position to take, but it's hard to argue with.
It is. I think he's still trying to promote his Neuralink chip. He's like, everybody dies unless you can upload your consciousness.
Now.
Yeah. All right, so those are some of our quick updates here, and that leads us to our main story, which has to do with deep fakes.
Let's go.
Where's my deep fake jingle? What happened to my deep? Oh man, we're just falling apart today.
Rough day today.
Yeah, where's my deep fake? I know I got it. I know I got it ready.
We are in deep fake.
There we go. Okay. Well, I'll start us off here from insider.com. And the article is titled, "A Creepy Presidential Debate Ad Shows a Deepfake of Putin Telling Americans They're Ruining Their Own Democracy." Whoa. A new advertising campaign meant to run during the first presidential debate between Joe Biden and President Donald Trump features deepfake representations of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin delivering a message that foreign interference isn't necessary to bring down the United States' democracy. The advertisements, which were created in partnership with creative agency Mischief at no fixed address, I don't know what that means, but are intended to shock viewers with a message about the fragility of American democracy. In the videos, faux Putin and faux Kim both say, quote, "I don't have to do anything. You're doing it to yourselves," vaguely referencing election interference efforts undertaken by the Russian government. They're also part of a campaign intended to help protect voter rights in the lead up to the 2020 presidential election. With links to the YouTube posts of both videos driving viewers to take certain steps to, quote, "save the election," like volunteering to work the polls and demanding that state lawmakers respect the vote count. Deepfakes are created with AI technology that uses various images of a subject to render videos that appear as if someone is doing or saying something that they never did. As MIT Technology Review's Karen Howe notes, the awareness campaign is a stark departure from the way deepfakes are typically framed in the political space, as having the potential to, quote, "confuse voters and disrupt elections." Joshua Graham Lynn, co-founder and president at Represent Us, said in a statement provided to The Insider that, quote, "by featuring two leaders who have a vested interest in the collapse of our democratic system, we are putting the American people face to face with just how fragile our democracy really is. We hope it inspires Americans to come together to fight for this one issue that unites us all." What is it? What is the one issue? Both advertisements include disclaimers at the end that state, quote, "this footage is not real, but the threat is." Local Washington, D.C. affiliates of MSNBC, CNN, and Fox rejected the advertisement last minute, media post agency Daily reported. A spokesperson for the campaign said that the advertisements have been pre-approved but were pulled last minute with no explanation. Oh, man, they wouldn't let us run our deep fake ads.
Do you want to see it? And hear it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, this is the Kim Jong-un version of the deep fake.
Democracy is a fragile thing. More fragile than you want to
fragile.
Believe. If the election fails, there is no democracy. I don't have to do anything. You're doing it to yourselves. People are divided. Your voting districts are manipulated. Voting locations are closing, so millions can't vote. It's not hard for democracy to collapse. All you have to do is nothing.
Democracy lives or dies with you. Protect democracy and represent us. This footage is not real, but the threat is join us.
What is this? Mind control gong they're ringing.
Not even that, but like the whole thing, I think they pulled it because I think it would freak out people. You know, a lot of like the older generation that don't really understand what a deep fake is, they would freak out that Kim Jong-un is on the screen telling you that, you know, doing nothing is how you destroy the democracy and all this kind of stuff.
Does it say that this is specifically a deep fake? I
It
know it
doesn't
says
say
this footage
deep
is
fake.
not real.
It doesn't say deep
that's
fake.
wrong. If they should specifically say it's a deep fake, say the threat, not just say this footage is not real, because that doesn't really mean the same thing to every person.
Right. Yeah. And it's at the very end of the commercial on that third gong there. It just says this footage is not real, but the threat is join us. It's too even the caveat, or not the caveat, but the disclaimer is super, subtle. So again, most people who aren't keeping up with this kind of thing, they're going to freak. And this is a similar thing with Putin's commercial. I'll play the Putin one here. It's a little shorter.
I feel like that Kim Jong-un one was just slightly racist.
He's like, the election, the pouring.
It feels like they leaned a little heavy on the accent. But
racist. Okay, here's Putin. Which, by the way, how long is this commercial? 33 seconds.
Oh, booyah. Nice catch.
Yep. Here we go.
America, you blame me for interfering with your democracy, but I don't have to. You are doing it to yourselves. Polling stations are closing. You don't know who to trust. You are divided. There are strings we can pull, but we don't have to. You are pulling them for us.
There you go. Same little thing at the end there.
That gong is activating some MK Ultra sleeper cells for sure.
Yeah.
I will say that one seems a little bit faker because we all know that Putin's English is not that good.
Sure, but most people generally watching television aren't Putin experts. All they know is Putin trying to take over America.
See, this is dangerous, man. I don't know. I'm kind of wish that they had let it play because I would have loved to see the madness that ensued. But yeah, that is not, especially with all the conversations about how deep fakes are going to ruin news forever. To make that and not specifically say like this is a deep fake and it's going to affect news forever. Like not calling it out is not being honest and is not helpful. And just saying this footage is not real, but the threat is. Also rhetorically is saying that the footage is not real, but the threat is. I don't know. There's something really dishonest in that because the average reader would say, oh, so Putin, I guess what Putin is saying is real, but the Putin isn't real. It's too confusing, man. You can't let that out into let that loose into the wild.
Yeah, so maybe good job on the PR people at what is it, CNN and whatever it was, MSNBC and Fox rejecting the ad. I don't know.
Maybe they rejected the ad because they don't want to tip people off that that deep fakes are real.
Too soon.
Maybe if they just cut off the disclaimer at the end, they would have run it.
Yeah, maybe it's too soon. A couple stories in parallel with this one. This is from Daily Star. AI deepfake videos to make up 90% of online content in just 5 years.
Oh, no.
So AI-created deepfake videos could spell the end of truth, with dictators able to dupe entire populations into believing whatever they want them to believe, a political expert claims. So we won't go through the article, but yeah, they're saying up to 90% of all online content will be deepfakes in 5 years, which is wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, that number is bigger than I expected, but I totally believe that, especially when AI gets put to the task of automatically generating content.
Yeah.
Right now, a human has to create a deep fake by running it through the program, but it would not be difficult for somebody to make an AI, just devote some hardware to making an AI that automatically draws in, world events and news, and then spits out a deep fake about it.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And then one more parallel story here. This one's from
Wait.
boingboing.net.
Before you move on, though, because, keep this in mind. 5 years is not very long.
No.
And 90% is very, very high.
Yeah.
And as we've been saying, we've been saying this for the past 5 years, that already you cannot, just because you see a video of something, you cannot assume that it is real right now, that it would be a mistake to make that assumption. But this is even worse, obviously.
Yeah, even if this guy is like 50% right, which would mean 45% of all online videos. It's too much. It's almost
even
half.
if it was 10%, that's way too much.
Well, I'd say 10% is already. Well, it's not deep fake, I guess, but
yeah. We're talking straight up deep fake.
Straight up deep fake. And this is another story here. Boingboing.net. A person's heartbeat can be used to detect deep fakes. Research at Binghamton University developed a utility called Fake Catcher that can spot deepfake videos by detecting the presence of a heartbeat on a person's face.
Interesting.
And this is from the IEEE spectrum. In particular, video of a person's face contains subtle shifts in color that result from pulses in blood circulation. You might imagine that these changes would be too minute to detect merely from a video, but viewing videos that have been enhanced to exaggerate these color shifts will quickly disabuse you of that notion. This phenomenon forms the basis of a technique called photoplethysmography. I think that's right. Photoplethysmography.
It's not it's photoplethysmography.
Okay. All right. Okay, grammar man. Or PPG for short. I'll just go with PPG, which can be used, for example, to monitor newborns without having to attach anything to their very sensitive skin. There's a little typo there. Deepfakes don't lack such circulation-induced shifts in color, but they don't recreate them with high fidelity. The researchers at SUNY and Intel found that, quote, biological signals are not coherently preserved in different synthetic facial parts, and that, quote, synthetic content does not contain frames with stable PPG. Translation, deepfakes can't convincingly mimic how your pulse shows up in your face. So there you go. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, yet. And that's the thing with these types of stories, like, hey, we're going to be able to detect with this use or that use. It's just giving the deep fake technology the tools and like knowing what to do to make themselves better. What doesn't destroy you makes you stronger, and that's super true with the deep fakes.
I'm seeing in the chat, Gons. I think my video is turned off of the stream.
Oh, yes, you are. Sorry.
You just don't want people to see my beautiful googly eyes.
Well, at least for a little bit, people won't complain. Take off your mask.
No, see, they're complaining when I'm there. They're complaining when I'm gone. We just can't win.
Can't win.
Yeah. So, I think as far as the deep fakes go, these are some pretty big pieces of news. Of course, we've been following deep fakes for years, but as far as big steps in that direction, these are a few big steps. And as far as deep fakes gaining a lot of attention and making it out into the wild, that Putin and Kim Jong-un one are pretty special cases. So far, deep fakes have not, caused the most dramatic upsets. But of course, as we move forward here, we're definitely going to see that happening more.
Yeah. So in light of this debate that everybody was, been talking about and freaking out about, quietly, deep fakes continue to improve themselves. And, maybe we'll look back. I'm trying to put a positive spin to this before we go into break here. But maybe we'll look back at the days of the Trump-Biden debacle debate and think, oh, wasn't it nice when earpieces and, cutting each other off and
calling each other names.
Calling each other names was all we had to worry about with presidential debates. Because
soon it's going to be trial by combat.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if it was some kind of combat or like some video game thing. That would be fantastic.
Some VR, Mortal Kombat thing besides our leaders. Yeah.
Which one of our artists did some kind of some of that we'll show here in the break. But
okay.
All right.
Well, let's do it. Let's take a quick break and don't go anywhere, folks, because after the break, we're talking about black holes. Where, you might ask? Not where you'd think. And then we've got some more updates about CERN to piggyback off of last episode's updates. So make sure to stick around for that. Very important stuff. But let's take a very quick break.
It's break time.
Come on, take a break. Okay, folks, don't go anywhere. Real quick break. First, we want to thank some of our new Twitch followers, as well as thanking the producers, our brand new producers of the show. So first, Gonz, are you ready to thank some Twitch followers?
No. Yes, finally.
Finally. Okay. Well, first of all, Gonz, we continue to gain followers in the Biden campaign. And first of all, we have Joe Biden's lost account.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so this is the one he forgot the password to, but he found it. Now he's following us on Twitch. So thank you, Joe Biden's lost account. Next, we have Joe Biden has dementia.
Is that like a skin dementia?
I don't know. Just Joe Biden has dementia. Thanks for the follow. Then we have Batman 7.
Ooh.
Yeah. Then we have Ivan Blasphemer. Gorilla Press. Milky T. And Julian DG. I think we thanked them last week. So there we go. Short list of Twitch followers. Thank you very much, though, folks, for helping us out there. Now, next, we want to thank some of our brand new producers. Producers, you might say. Yes, that's how we work around here. We are on the value for value model, which you will notice we do not do any advertising. And that means that we are not selling you, your attention, and your personal information to big corporations for our own personal gain. Isn't that nice? Aren't we just such nice guys? But we made that decision a while ago, very uncomfortable with the state of the advertising model, which incentivizes guys like us to consider you, dear listener, as a commodity, a piece of cattle to be bought and sold to the highest bidder for our own personal gain. And that's just wrong. It doesn't teach content creators to treat their listeners like humans. It's just so problematic for so many reasons, as if you've watched The Social Dilemma, did a great job of explaining that a little bit more. So instead, we go on the value for value model. It's a very simple system. We create value and we provide it. And then if you gain any value from what we do, you get to put some value back into the show. And that can come in many different forms. Obviously, financial is a big way to do it, but also the creation of content for the show. We have artists, we have jingle producers, we have musicians, all sorts of ways to be involved with producing the show. And let's start out first with thanking our financial producers. The best way to do that is to go to patreon.com/CCNT for Canary Cry News Talk and join up there and become a monthly producer of the show. And we have some new ones, Gonz. Are you ready to thank them?
Ready.
Okay. First of all, we have Don. Don came in. Thank you very much, Don.
Thank you, Don.
Producer Don. Then we have Brianna coming in. Producer Brianna.
Thank you, Brianna.
Thank you very much, Brianna. Oop, I've lost my list. Next, we have an upgraded producership from This Intangible Existence.
This Intangible Existence.
Check them out. Next, nope, that's it for that. Let me double check. Yes. So thank you to all of our Patreon people over there at patreon.com/CCNT, new producers. And then we also have patreon.com/CanaryCryRadio. For those who don't know, Canary Cry Radio is a separate show than Canary Cry News Talk. It's an interview style show that we've also been doing for years. You should check it out. But we had a new producer, actually an upgrading producer, and it is Producer Don, actually upgrading their CCR Patreon. Thank you very much, Producer Don. Double producer.
Doubling up.
That's right. Now, here's the thing, folks. If you don't like Patreon, that's okay. A lot of people don't like it. We understand. That's why we have made available CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
That's right. And over at CanaryCryRadio.com/support, we've got all sorts of other options, non-Patreon options. We've got PayPal. You can come in with a monthly producership, or if commitment is not your thing, you can make a one-time producership in any amount. There's also cryptocurrency and all sorts of other fun ways to help out the show. And Gons, who do we have coming in over on the PayPal?
First, we have a couple 33 or 33 adjacent producerships. First, we got Rebecca. Thank you, Rebecca.
Producer Rebecca.
And also Bush Protector.
Ooh, thank you, Bush Protector. $33.33.
$33.33. We also have Tristan who came in, so thank you, Tristan.
Thank you.
And somebody answered the call. For our what was it called? I don't remember. The Trump tax
producership.
Yes.
The $7.50, $7.50, $75, or $750. What did Sierra come in with?
Sierra came in with $7.50. Thank you, Sierra.
Thank you, Sierra. You are our tax Trump producer for this week, episode 249. You can put that on your resume, Sierra.
Yes, put that in there. We will vouch for you. And we also did receive a crypto gift, some Satoshis, well, Bitcoin, for those of you in the know. We received 92,037 Satoshis. So whoever you are out there, thank you for that.
Thank you. That's about $10 or something.
About $10, yeah. We don't have any nights. We did not see any jingles come in, but the other ways that you can help produce the show is by contributing with your talent, your God-given talents. Many of you have different gifts, and you can contribute to the show in different ways. One of them is jingles. Another way is to make show-related music, and we'll play those at the end of the show. If you're listening, you'll know about the playlist at the end. And one other way that we love to share every episode is art.
One art, please.
And today we have 3 pieces of art to share. First off, our prolific and young artist, Ali Gazlin Bonds,
youngest
in the chat.
known producer.
Youngest known producer. The home invasion drone.
Oh, gosh.
And do you see it there, Basil? You see?
Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah. See, there we go. We are talking about the new Ring security drone that will fly around your house at regular intervals, scaring away thieves and robbers. I was talking about how that would just make a good hunting expedition for the cats every 10 minutes. And here we go. Allie coming through. We've got a couple of the Monties. One's down there looking very huntery, and then yes, of course, we've got the Ring drone flying up in the sky with Monty the Third hanging from it in mid-hunt, mid-takedown. I like that. Thank you very much, Allie. Very good.
Yes, and the subtitle for this is The Cattening.
The Cattening.
There you go. And we so thank you for that, Allie. Always wonderful. Love the art. It's fantastic. And
that's a great rendition of Monty 3 too. She really nailed it.
Maybe she's got one of the ring drones in your house. So
That's what that buzzing noise is every 10 minutes. I've showed Monty the Third on the show before.
They call me. Yeah, go ahead.
Just a little update. He's doing fine. He's back to his wild, crazy self. Yes.
Good. They call me Socks13 in the chat is saying that your donation wasn't mentioned.
So I was actually going to mention that to you. I'm looking at the email. We had a couple come in during the show.
Okay.
So I don't know if we want to do those now or
if we do, can we make sure to put it on the list so we don't do it again?
We usually, just so you know, if a donation comes in during the show, we've already made our list and stuff. We don't read directly from the email. So we will be giving shout outs on Friday's episode for people who come in during the show.
Which is
although I don't know, maybe we want to do it right now. If you gave during the show and are just, I don't know, maybe we should do it right now.
I mean, we can if you have it pulled up.
If you feel strongly, say now. You've got 5 seconds before I move on. But I do have a couple that got sent in during the show here. I'm not sure whose is who, but here we go. Nope, they're not saying anything, so I'm moving on. Okay.
Well, it's also delayed. The chat's delayed from real life time.
I'm on the live chat, not on the Twitch chat.
Oh,
you mean the actual, yes. I guess the feed is delayed a little bit. I'll give you another second. Okay.
1, 2. I feel like I'm talking to my child.
No. All right. So if you came in and supported the show, during the show, we will read you on next episode. So thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. A couple more pieces of art. Yes. A couple more pieces of art. We had a couple come in from Yvonne. And the first one from Yvonne is the Baphomet Flippy. And this is
very funny.
Yes, it's a Flippy robot. Or I guess, it looks kind of like the devil robot from Futurama.
Yeah, it's got some Futurama inspiration there, but this is original artwork here.
Yes.
Flippy, of course, if you've been listening to the show, will herald the end of days. And here we go. Very good rendition. This is how I think of Flippy in my mind when I think of the religion behind the robotics.
Yeah.
This is really a good representation of that. And for those who are just listening, yes, it is a full robot sitting cross-legged with Baphomet wings and horns and the little fruit thing on top of his head, of course, with one hand raised and one lowered, as above, so below. So there, I think that says it all.
I think it's the pine cone.
Yeah, you're right. It's the pineal pine cone.
And the 666 on the chest of the robot.
Yes.
Very well done.
The number of the beast. Very good. Thank you very much. Who was that? Yvonne?
Yvonne. And I think Yvonne came in with the second one that's related to the debate. And this is just a couple of wrestlers. I don't know which two wrestlers. Can't tell. But one is superimposed with a Trump face. The other one with the Biden face, and it's well done. Well done. That's
they're
some
both
good.
Just looking just like they got shot up with some B12 and methamphetamines, and then went at it.
And some steroids.
Yeah,
some Joe Rogan supplements.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Biden just kicked Trump's face. It's kind of the action shot.
Something, his face or something else. But yes, very good Photoshop work there. An accurate description of the debates last night.
Yes, fantastic. So thank you, Yvonne, for a couple of those pieces of art. And again, we appreciate all of you with your different talents or your treasure. It's really means a lot to us.
An observant person in the chat, Gons. The user, an observant person, but I think it's also true in its subjective form, says... An observant person says, that's not where the face is.
I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt that maybe the leg is coming down, after, because Trump's face is turned in a direction that,
Yeah, trying to wrap it in bubble wrap, Gons.
I'm trying, but it's hard with with Biden and Trump. You can't really.
I know. It's hard to get around it sometimes.
Did you hear by the way, just as a side note, on the CNN, after debate thing, one of the anchor ladies was basically called it an S show, a poop show.
Did she say the word
Yes,
on air?
she said it. And she's like, I'm sorry for my crudeness, but this is cable TV. but she's full on said it. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I guess they don't care on
Sounds
on
like
CNN.
she wishes she had a podcast.
It's where the world is headed. International Podcast Day. But yeah, there you go. Thank you, Yvonne, for the art. It's fantastic. Wherever that kick was supposed to land. There you go. That's all the things. I think That Night Wind, thank you for your ongoing help by putting timestamps on the video version.
The YouTube, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can jump around, click on the timestamps to tune in to the subject matter without having to hear the rest of the nonsense.
Yes, and
no,
you're going to
will
read...
skip that one. We need to do some stuff.
Yeah, you're going to read the reviews on Friday, correct?
Yes, reviews on Friday. Yes, another great way to help the show out is leave ratings and reviews in your search bar on your browser. Just search Apple Podcasts, Canary Cry News Talk. Leave some rating. Ow, cat is sorry. I had a sharp claw just go right into my side. What was I talking about? Leave ratings and reviews. Helps out the show a lot. And Gonz and I read all of them, so it makes us feel nice. And I will be reading those on Friday, so get them in now.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Are we waking up?
We're waking up.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
Okay, so this one, we almost had to stick this into last show, last minute, but we are just full. So we brought it over here. Very interesting thing. There's a lot of aspects to this, and let's chat it out. But this is coming from popularmechanics.com, and the article is titled 13 Scientists Say in a Real Journal There's a Black Hole at the Center of the Earth.
Science is truth.
What?
Science is truth.
There it is. Sorry, I was doing my own jingle over
I know.
here.
We'll work together.
Yeah. The article reads like this. Scientists have uncovered a bizarre, indefensible paper that squeaked through peer review at what appears at first pass to be a legitimate medical journal. Medical journal. Oh, okay. Expert responses to the report are funny, but the research represents some key items of interest in science publishing and academia more broadly. In quote, a black hole at the center of the Earth plays the role of the biggest system of telecommunication for connecting DNAs, dark DNAs, and molecules of water on 4+N dimensional manifold. Published, that's the name of the title of the paper. Published last year in the Open Access Macedonian Journal of Medicine. If you're a hardcore history person, you know that it's actually called Macedonian and not
really?
Macedonian. Yeah, Macedonian is a popularization pronunciation, but the true hardcore people call it Macedonian. Anyways, published last year in the Open Access Macedonian Journal of Medical Sciences, 13 listed authors from wildly different fields throw together a series of escalating falsehoods. Quote, recently, some scientists from NASA have claimed that there may be a black hole-like structure at the center of the Earth. The abstract begins. It only gets crazier from there. Block quote here. The Earth's core is the biggest system of telecommunication, which exchanges waves with all DNAs and molecules of water. Imaging of DNAs on the interior of the metal of the core produces a DNA black brain with around 10 to the 9th power times longer than the core of the Earth, which is compacted and creates a structure similar to a black hole or black brain. We have shown that this DNA black brain is the main cause of high temperature of core and magnetic of Earth. All right, so the English is not the best.
Is that Putin?
And
or
whenever no, that's more of a Kim Jong-un. The brain, whenever they spell brain, they spell it B-R-A-N-E. So I don't know if that's referring to something else or just a misspell. IFL Science points out that scientists occasionally float garbage into the peer review system to make sure it's still working, but it's not entirely clear that this paper is garbage on purpose.
By the way, brain is an extended object with any given number of dimensions, of which strings in string theory are examples with one dimension. Our universe is a 3-brain, like a membrane.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, there we go. That solves that. Another of the group's papers begins, quote, "First group couple to our universe from one side and produce matters like some genes of DNAs, and couple to an anti-universe from another side with opposite sign and create antimatters like some anti-genes of anti-DNAs." Sounds like an AI wrote this.
Yeah, it does.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
If this sounds like word salad to you, you're not alone. One of the theories to explain the paper is that it was generated using peer review tricking, artificial intelligence. Oh, wow. Which shuffles key terms and phrases and glues them together into something almost coherent. The technology to do work like this gets more sophisticated all the time. AI can almost write sitcom scripts, and job applications must optimize their resumes. Since so many are now scanned by keyword seeking bots before they ever make it to a human. Well, that's good to know. I'll remember that. If God forbid I ever have to put a resume together. I'm not sure if 12 years as a podcaster is going to get me anywhere. Anyways, moving on. The paper's references are also a nonsense buffet, mixing words from the paper parenthetical here, dimension, dark DNA, and most symbolically telling, brainless, all brought in out of context. End parenthetical, with some wholly unrelated or even incomplete citations. At least one of the authors, Cotalinda, has 4 papers that appeared in the same month in the same journal. Wow, prolific fake scientist. Bystanders often talk about peer review like it's a way to ensure a paper is factually correct, but that's not always the outcome, and it's not even the goal. Sometimes legitimate scientific or mathematical work is so complex that even peers struggle to analyze it, especially in the short time frame before publication. And now that more civilians are savvy about using peer-reviewed sources, for example, there could be journals that tick the boxes in the most minimal way. Whoa, catfight. Minimal way in order to claim they're peer-reviewed. IFLS points out that one of the authors previously published about predatory journals, which can you hear that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, there's some mountain lions stalking me, I think. IFLS points out that one of the authors previously published about predatory journals, which typically have a less legitimate footprint than the Macedonian Journal of Medical Science. Could it be that a totally good faith peer review process decided to air these ideas as representative of real work? Maybe, but that's hard to believe, even with the credulity sliders pushed all the way up. It seems more likely that the process has gone wrong at this particular journal. In the meantime, though, we'll meet you at that black hole at the center of the Earth. So there you go, Gons. Sorry, but there probably isn't a black hole at the center of the Earth.
I'm disappointed because I was thinking that my donut Earth theory was confirmed.
I like early on in us reading that. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, what's going on over there? It sounds like a cat
war. What are you
doing?
doing? I can't even see what's happening. I'm just hearing it. Stop it! Stop fighting. Okay. Even at the beginning of us reading this article, people were calling BS. I call BS meter alert. You're smart folk who watch this show. So what do you think, Gons? Should we try to get some papers in a peer-reviewed journal?
I think that's the next step here. To really,
I think we can do it. I think we might be able to make it work.
Yeah, we just have
to
employ
I have
some
a lot
AI.
more believable theories than the black hole at the center of the Earth thing, and we've read enough papers. I think we can make it sound believable.
Yeah, especially just write a good abstract. You know?
Yeah, it should be about how people who listen to Canary Cry News Talk are smarter and better looking than their peers.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I've got the evidence.
You have the evidence, and we can present it and get it peer reviewed.
Do you like the 13 numerology? 13 scientists were the writers.
Yeah. Why not 33?
That's too many, Gonzo.
Too many?
Nobody would believe that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's too bad. I was hoping for a little more.
Well, the fact of the matter is, and this was the conversation I was hoping to open up, especially with all the COVID stuff. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Every time you turn, by the way, every time you turn, your chair is grabbing the green screen and revealing your wall.
Oh no, don't see my wall. Oh no. But in this time of COVID, where there's already been some issues with new discoveries being published in scientific journals, there was the Lancet debacle a while back, if you remember, which published, COVID information that seemed legit to people like us, or at least kind of fit certain counter narratives to the official narrative. But then, it was a peer reviewed, made it into the journal, but because it went against the official narrative, the Lancet, which is probably the most famous scientific peer reviewed journal in the world, definitely one of the oldest, was suddenly called to question. And what this plays a part in my opinion, is the continued destruction of even the possible existence of truth. Formerly, if it was in a peer-reviewed journal, and this, look,
you're talking about within the pillars of science.
Yes, I'm not saying objectively in a sort of cosmic truth sense.
Right,
I'm just saying in the system that we were in, if it made it into the Lancet, it was considered, widely held truth. But we came to this point where even if it was in the Lancet, if it went against mainstream media, then it was the Lancet's fault and not mainstream media's fault.
Right.
It's this truth is coherence to mainstream narrative is what has come about.
Yeah.
And this it almost serves as it's almost its own little conspiracy. Like, let's see the craziest stuff we can get into a journal so we can further deconstruct people's ability to identify what is probably true or not.
Yeah, it comes down to, I think, within the next, Lord willing, unless he returns here, I think we're seeing sort of the restructuring. We talk about the Great Reset economically, but I think they're trying to reset all the pillars of any kind of epistemological, foundations for the established world. And we've seen the cracks with a lot of the peer-reviewed journals and all this kind of stuff. Not just for the COVID thing, but with this type of thing, even if it's just the integrity type of thing going on, I feel like they're just getting ready to create a whole new standard, air quotes here, standard of truth when it comes to scientific inquiry. And it'll come through things that are a little more woo-woo, a little more kind of new agey sounding.
Right.
And in order to establish that level, you have to poke holes at the former establishment. It's the whole, problem, reaction, solution, the tear down and build up.
I think it's part of this whole Great Reset thing.
Yeah,
Not only is it a financial reset, but it's a reset of channels of objective truth, quote unquote.
Right. Trump said it.
We will launch a new age.
The new age, Basil.
There you go. We're there, baby.
I know. It's crazy. So there you go. I was hoping for a little bit more facts about this. Instead, I got
facts about the real black hole at the center of the earth,
or not.
No,
One or
we
the other.
know it's not a black hole. We know it's a hollow Earth with another sun at its center, giving life to the inner Earth civilizations.
Don't offend the flat earthers.
I'll fight.
So you're concave Earth. Is that what
Hollow
you're saying?
Earth all the way. I've always
Hollow
been
Earth?
a hollow Earther. Yeah.
Okay, so no donut Earth. Nobody's on the donut Earth train.
I don't even know what that means, and I'm offended that you would even say it.
I was showing the GIF of the donut Earth. Did you not see it?
No, I don't watch the stream the whole time, Gons. I'm reading.
Okay, well look at it now. There's a giant black hole in a flattened donut hole, donut shaped Earth.
I'm waiting for the stream to catch up here.
Okay,
I have to watch the stream like it. Yeah, that seems legit, Gons. What a weird little GIF. Where did you get this?
Where do I get anything?
Wow, good question.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
All right, we have our final story here. This is a beast system story.
Speaking of the beast system, beast system.
We reported on CERN and their connection to an AI company that will just take over the world. But this is some more information here. Phys.org, CERN meets quantum technology.
Yay.
Today's information and communication technology grew out of the invention and development of quantum mechanics during the last century. I didn't realize quantum mechanics was invented. Did you know this, Basil? It was invented.
Oh, that is an interesting catch.
But nifty as it is that billions of transistors can be packed into your smartphone, or that photons are routed around the internet with the help of lasers, the devices underpinning the, quote, first quantum revolution merely rely on the weird properties of quantum mechanics. They don't put them to use directly. The CERN Quantum Technology Initiative, QTI, which was announced by CERN Director General Fabiola Gianotti in June, sees CERN join a rapidly growing global effort to bring about a, quote, second quantum revolution, whereby phenomena such as superposition and entanglement, which enable an object to be in two places at the same time or to influence another instantaneously, are exploited to build new computing, communication, sensing, and simulation devices. It is difficult to predict the impact of such quantum technologies in society, but for high-energy physics and CERN, the benefits are clear. They include advanced computing algorithms to cope with future data analysis challenges, ultra-sensitive detectors to search for hidden sector particles and gravitational waves, and the use of well-controlled quantum systems to simulate or reproduce the behavior of complex many-body quantum phenomena or theoretical research. Though relatively new to the quantum technology scene, CERN is in the unique position of having in one place the diverse set of skills and technologies, including software, computing, and data science, theories, sensors, cryogenics, electronics, and material science necessary for such a multidisciplinary endeavor. AGIS, at CERN's antiproton decelerator, which is able to explore the multiparticle entangled nature of photons from positronium annihilation, is one of several examples of existing CERN experiments already working in relevant technology areas. CERN also provides valuable use cases to help compare classical and quantum approaches to certain applications, as demonstrated recently with a team at Caltech. As demonstrated recently when a team at Caltech used a quantum computer comprising 1098 superconducting qubits to, quote, rediscover the Higgs boson from LHC data. CERN's rich network of academic and industry relations working in unique collaborations such as CERN Open Lab is a further strength. The path to CERN's QTI began with a workshop on quantum computing and high-energy physics organization by CERN Open Lab in November 2018, which was followed by several initiatives, pilot projects, and events. During the next 3 years, the initiative will assess the potential impact of quantum technologies on CERN and high-energy physics on the timescale of the HLLHC, late 2030s, and beyond. Governance and operational instruments are being finalized, and concrete R&D objectives are being defined in the four main quantum technologies areas: computing, sensing, and metrology. Sensing and metrology is one thing. Communication.
Metrology?
Yeah, I don't know what that is exactly.
It's like Maitreya?
Or like metering of some kind, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds probably more correct.
Sensing. So I think sensing and metrology, like metering and sensing.
Communication.
Yeah. And simulation and information processing. The CERN QTI will also develop an international education and training program in collaboration with experts, universities, and industry, and identify mechanisms for knowledge sharing with CERN member states, the high-energy physics community, other scientific research communities, and society at large, which, based on what we just talked about, like resetting the scholarly or like scientific basis for what is truth, quote unquote, this type of thing is emerging that could replace some of the peer-reviewed processes. Quote, by taking part in this rapidly growing field, CERN not only has much to offer, but also stands to benefit directly from it, says Alberto Di Meglio, coordinator of the CERN QTI and head of CERN Open Lab. Quote, the CERN Quantum Technology Initiative, by helping structure and coordinate activities with our community and the many international public and private initiatives, is a vital step to prepare for this exciting quantum future, end quote.
Wow.
So there you go. CERN, we always knew that CERN was moving in this direction of quantum technologies and stuff, but now public, it's official. And I think the other part, the big takeaway here is that whole knowledge base and sort of the place where the education program and collaborating with universities and industry to share the information with any CERN member state.
Right.
That whole thing, again, really screams like, hey, new way to verify with data and sensing and all the toys that they have over at CERN there.
Yeah, it is interesting. I'm curious to see where this is going in the end. I mean, what do you think the long-term thing of this is?
You mean like opening the abyss?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Opening the abyss. I think that's the long-term play here. They're like, we know Jesus is coming back, so we better get with the program and figure out this black hole.
In.
Yeah, we got to let figure out the whole ripping a portal to the other world because we need the help of the demons to combat Jesus when he's coming on the clouds. But that's all insider info. That's not publicly
reasonable.
Stated. Especially 2030s. I mean, this is like a long play.
Well, and if anybody was going to do this, it's CERN. It's sort of the focal point of this type of activity. And then, as we saw last episode, CERN making their AI data sets available for sale.
Yeah.
Is extra concerning.
Concerning,
yeah. Because I mean, that data being available to any AI producer is getting a little. I'm just getting a little squirmy over here. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, and it's a point to really emphasize with AI. You talked about it in the last episode, but I think it's just worth mentioning over and over again that in AI, in machine learning, and like even programming, all that stuff, humans are able to sort of code like line by line, like, okay, take this data set, plug it into this equation, and then spit out this result. And what AI does is you have a series of those, the input and the outputs. But the middle there, when you start stacking those calculations, you can sort of manipulate or at least seek what you're looking for on the other side of the result. But what actually takes place in between is very much a mystery. It's a black box.
Yeah, it's a black box. You know what you put in, you know what you get out, but you really don't and can't know how the AI came to that conclusion.
And it's also one of those issues where you can follow one line of logic in the coding, but that's not going to tell you how the consensus of the algorithms came up with that solution. You know, so you can find like one strand, you can follow one piece of logic and say, oh, okay, this is how they took this data and made this calculation and came with this result. But then when you combine it all, that's when you start losing any kind of touch point with human abilities to understand what's happening. And AI is taking on its own sort of knowledge, so to speak. And you know, this isn't our conjecture. This is where a lot of computer scientists, and especially some of like the fringy New Ager types, they're starting to suggest that this sort of black box and this mess of information algorithms and stuff is the beginning of some kind of consciousness, like its own consciousness. And that's where we talk about artificial general intelligence, where it's not just us playing with the input outputs and then, oh, the AI came up with an answer. It more becomes like, oh, we're able to interact with this AI at a level where it itself knows what we want or is able to answer our questions without us putting too much effort into it because they have their own quote unquote consciousness. And it's kind of how our human brains work with all the synapses and the, everything that our brain does. They're trying to simulate it, so to speak, with all these calculations. And so for CERN to be getting into it, not surprising based on all the stuff that they've done already and plan to do. But yeah, just, as a summary here, I know it's a little bit of a shorter show today, but as we wrap things up, we started this episode with the debacle of a debate that happened last night, and we're ending with CERN meets quantum technology, which goes to show that not only are there a lot more things going on in the world that you may not, be aware of, but what people are driven to be focused on is so manipulated. The entire world was watching these two old guys like argue, and everyone has an opinion about everything today. In the meantime, CERN and quantum technology is ripping a hole in space-time and opening the abyss so the demons can all come out with Abaddon.
But Gons, I have the headline that has to take us out of the show here.
Okay.
And going back to the debates, this is a headline from, you guessed it, sarahpalin.com.
Oh, nice. Your favorite politician.
sarahpalin.com, and the headline reads, Joe Biden lied at least 33 times during Tuesday's debate. Trump campaign says. Yeah.
No, okay, I gotta find it. You gotta be kidding me.
I read through. The article's not very exciting, but
I just
want
to see it so I can show it at least.
Yeah,
33 times. Biden
sarahpalin.com. Joe Biden lied at least 33. So why didn't they just say 40 or 34? If it's at least 33. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, here it is.
Some great Illuminati dog whistling happening over at sarahpalin.com.
Well,
folks.
Sarah Palin kind of, dropped off the Eye of Sauron public stage there, so she had to, she's signaling. She's signaling to her controllers like, I'm still here. Yep, there it is.
And there it is. You got it. You got it. And with that, Gons, I think it's time we wrap it up for today.
Okay.
All right. You good?
I think I'm good. Well,
okay.
I hope that this was a
pandemic special
for all you listeners out there.
Yes,
I did get this. I didn't realize this on the from one of the. Oh gosh, you might know what it is, but there's a character named CanaryCry, like the Marvel.
Yeah,
I think
she's
Marvel
a DC
character, or
person,
DC character. Yeah. One of the movies. There's a scene where they ask Canary to scream or something to get rid of the bad guys or something, and I clipped it.
Canary, you know what you have to do.
Sweet.
Yep.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Remember, we will be back on Friday, which will be the
250th episode of Canary Cry News Talk.
250th episode. That's right. And it will be, October 2nd. We'll be going live sometime between noon and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you get those time zones correct. Make sure to follow us on multiple platforms. We got the YouTube, we got the Twitch, we got the Facebook, all over the place. You're going to want to follow in multiple places and turn on notifications because you never know when a notification is not going out. But or just set your alarm for Friday at noon, sometime between noon and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will be here. Thank you to our producers who supported this episode, and thank you to our producers who came in during the episode. We'll give you shout outs next episode on Friday. But again, thank you, Don, Brianna, This Intangible Existence, Sierra, Rebecca, Bush Protector, Tristan, and Anonymous Satoshi Person. Thank you for producing this episode. Remember, you can put producer at Canary Cry Radio on, or Canary Cry News Talk on your resume. Give them our email. We'll vouch for you. That's the real deal. And please remember us for those who have not become producers. And if you're getting value out of this, maybe you've listened to a couple episodes or you've been listening for a decade, consider becoming a producer. It's the only way we're able to keep going. And it's really not, this isn't just about Gonzo and I. It's not our show. It's everybody's show. It's your show, dear producer. So if you gain value and you want to rebel against the global theology of advertising and selling your attention for the personal gain of random people on the internet, if you want to stick it to the man, go ahead and become a producer of the show at patreon.com/CCNT for Canary Cry News Talk or CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
That's right. And don't forget, we've only had one Trump tax producership. If you want to get on the list for the Trump tax producership, $7.50, $75, something with $7.50 in it. We'll be reading more of those this coming Friday. Now, remember, you can also help produce the show by creating art. If you've been inspired by the things we've talked about on this show and you want to render them into existence, whether it be on paper and pencil or paints or Legos, we've had people send in Lego creations that they've created. Whatever it is, whatever your art form, make something regarding the show, and we'll show it on the show. You can send that to CanaryCryRadio@gmail.com. That's the best way to get stuff to us. And remember, jingle people, you can, if you're a musician or a tech savvy person, you can create a jingle. Like the person on the last show, they created a jingle for something we hadn't even talked about yet, but they knew it was coming. That was the postal fraud, the voting fraud jingle. Thank you very much. Or if you're a musician, you want to write a song regarding the show or something we talk about on the show, make sure to send that in. We'll play it at the end on the Canary Cry mixtape. Stick around for that at the end of the show. Now, I will be reading ratings and reviews on Friday. So make sure to go now. Go today. Don't wait. Leave your rating and your review. Just search Canary Cry News Talk Apple Podcast. It'll take you right to where you can do that. Really the best way to spread the show is to send it directly to somebody. You got friends, you got family. They're starting to wake up and realize that the world is not what it seems and that truth is more complicated than what they see on the evening news. Just send them an episode of this show and we'll be happy to help guide them gently down the narrow path of truth. So make sure to do that. And if you need any more instructions, here's what you do. You walk right up to them, you grab them by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah, folks. Okay. Once again, we'll see you on Friday between noon and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure to follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/CanaryCryRadio. And lastly, I do want to plug CanaryCry.community. We've got our Canary Cry community on Facebook. I just went through during the show and allowed a bunch of people in. You're going to be asked some questions to get in there. Make sure to answer them correctly or else you will not get in. But other than that, we have CanaryCry.community. It is our anti-Facebook social media. It's all Canarians just like you. A lot of great discussions about topics, about shows. People are fellowshipping, praying for each other. And my favorite, there is the Canary Cry Community Gamers Guild. A bunch of gamers in there. And recently, there was a game of Mafia being played on the site with a bunch of the members of the community, which was pretty cool to watch. It's locked right now because they're in the middle of a game, but I'm sure they will start up another game once that one is finished. But you can go in there and take a look at how the game of Mafia is going at the CanaryCry.community. That's a real URL. Go there, sign up, and meet other listeners and producers just like you. All right, any last words, Guns?
Sinful generation!
That's right. Make sure to tune in. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
Canary in the coal mine.
Canaries in a cage.
Rattle her cage a little bit more.
Look it up.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Bye, gold. Bye!
I want to shake things up, shake things up. I want to shake things up, shake things up. Leave the bird alone. I want to stir up some controversy. I want to rattle a few cages. I want to rattle a few cages. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. I get it. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. A crusader for the little guy. Little guy. Little guy. Well, we'll see about that.
Whatever, Illuminati.
There's nothing to watch on my color TV. None of the snooze is what I want
In the future, humans will be confined in a people's zoo.
People, I'll keep you safe and warm in my people's zoo. I'll keep you safe and warm now in my people's zoo. You, yeah, you in my people's zoo. I'll keep the cameras on.